Hey everybody, Dr. Chris Dost here. Welcome back to my channel, Biblical Languages and Literature. In this video, we're going to be looking at G-stem suffix conjugation verbs in the second masculine singular. So the U masculine singular past tense form in the G-stem. Before we get started, would you please consider clicking the like button? Yep, just take a minute and click that like button so that we can get the word out about this channel. Because I'm looking to get this channel monetized so that I can continue producing these videos, I would really appreciate it if each of my subscribers would watch 1 hour of videos this week. In fact, if all of my subscribers did that, we would be monetized within the week. I really appreciate your checking out this channel and all the support that you offer me. If you have any questions about the video, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. With that, let's get started. The second masculine singular suffix conjugation G-stem verbs. At the outset, I should just mention by way of reminder, I mentioned this in the other videos, that I avoid the term perfect. I just choose not to use it because that is aspectual in nature. It talks about the aspect of the verb. I, like many other scholars, prefer to use suffix conjugation. It's just a conjugation that has suffixes on it. And in terms of its time reference, sometimes it's a simple past, sometimes it's actually perfective in nature. And we'll get into the meaning of all this later on. But I prefer to use suffix conjugation because it's a descriptive term. It has nothing to do with what the verb means. It describes how the verbs are formed. They are formed with suffixes. And so that's what we're dealing with here. Yes, most of the time suffix conjugation verbs are past tense verbs of one kind or another. But we're just going to refer to them when we're talking about verbal conjugations as suffix conjugation. All right, the first verb we're going to look at, yahavt, is in Daniel 2:23. And what I want to do in this video, and this is going to be characteristic of all of our subsequent videos, is that we will read large portions of Aramaic. Now, at this point in time, there's going to be a lot of forms you haven't seen. There's going to be a lot of grammar that we're exposed to that you're not expected to understand. But I want to get you at least pronouncing the Aramaic aloud, getting a general sense of what many of these terms mean. And I think what you're going to find is that by sheer repetition and exposure to reading the text, you're going to pick up on a lot of the vocab and even some of the grammar intuitively. But I'm not going to explain in these videos anything that we haven't addressed yet. I'm only going to explain stuff that you're expected to know. Hey everybody, just a quick interruption. If you want to watch this video in its entirety, please be sure to check out my Patreon channel. The link is in the description down below. Thanks so much. All right, so Daniel 2:23 begins, Lach Allah avahati mehodei umshabach ana, which means to you, Lach, Allah avahati, O God of my fathers, Allah means God, mehodei umshabach Ana. Ana means I, and mehodei umeshabach, I give thanks and praise. To you, O God of my fathers, I give thanks and praise. Di chochmata ugevota yahavt li. Because, di, wisdom and power you have given to me. So di means because, chochmata, wisdom, ugevota, and power, or and strength, yahavt li. Li means to me, and so our verb, yahavt, means you have given. Yahavt is a second masculine singular suffix conjugation verb in the G-stem. The root is yud he bet, which has to do with giving. The tav suffix at the end is the masculine singular suffix, so you have given. Now, yahavt could mean you gave, but one of the things that we have to do with suffix conjugation verbs is distinguish between what is meant by it. Is it a simple preterite, which would mean you gave to me, or is it perfective in nature, you have given to me? And in English, we use the perfective when something happens in the past, but there's an ongoing result. And so working with the assumption that God has not taken away the wisdom and the power or strength. Okay, so Daniel 4:32 says, V'chol dairei ara kelach shivin. Now all the inhabitants of the earth as nothing are counted, or counted as nothing. Uchmitzbiye aved bechel shmaya. Uchemitzbeye means as he wishes, and as he wishes. Aved, he does, and as he wishes, he does. Bechel Shmaya, among the host of heaven. V'dairei ara, and the inhabitants of the earth. V'la itai diimache vide. V'la itai, and there is no one, diimache vide, who can strike his hand, or to stay his hand. In other words, there's nobody who can resist his will. V'yemar le ma avadet. V'yemar means, or who can say le, to him, and then a quotation, ma avadet, what have you done? So avadet is formed just like the previous verb that we looked at, yehavt. We have the triconsonantal root with the tav suffix, yehavt. The only difference is that under yehavt we have a schwa in the first syllable, whereas under the ayin, the first consonant, in avadet, we have a compound schwa, but that's because ayin as a guttural requires a compound schwa, avadet. But they're formed the same way, you have done. And we translate it perfectively because the sense seems to be something that was done that has ongoing results, but that's a matter of interpretation. So far, we've looked at yehavt, you have given, and avadet, you have done. All right, the next one is Daniel 4:19, and here we have two forms. All right, that does it for this video. If you have any ideas for videos that you would like to see me produce, please leave those suggestions in the comments down below. If you didn't already, make sure you click that like button, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for your support, everybody. Bye-bye.